I do. I take this man as my husband.
Oh, jeez.
Do you take this woman as your beloved wife?
I did, apparently. All right.
Wait, can I toss the...
Toss the bouquet?
Yeah.
Do it.
Well, thanks
Who's
for
going to
watching.
catch it? Okay.
The field will catch it, but I'm
Okay.
going to hold on to it
Ready?
because I love a good sunflower.
I'm Robert Anthony.
I'm Joelle Anthony.
This is Watson. In 2020, we felt God's call in our lives to do something incredibly radical.
In 2023, we sold our flower shop, our home, just about everything we owned, and purchased our Winnebago Flex RV.
This began our trek into the vast unknown. Our mission is to take you along, showing you things you otherwise may never be able to see.
We would be so thankful to have you follow along and become part of our adventures.
Now, let's get to today's video.
How you doing, everybody? Robert Anthony.
Joelle Anthony.
You know that from the intro, so I don't know why I keep doing that.
We shouldn't be doing that, yeah. Too much.
We are now offering many of my prime photographs available for you to purchase. We're going to be offering luster paper options. We're going to be offering metal options, and now we're offering acrylic. I want to warn you, they're not cheap. I am using one of the best labs in the country to produce this stuff, and they are going to be heirloom quality pieces. They're just going to be really something to own. But with quality comes expense, of course. So they're printed as you order them, direct ship to you. Yep, love to have your business. We've been for the last 4 weeks on the hunt for wildflowers, and some of this wildflower hunting has really exposed a few things that I think are worth thinking about. Many of you have been offering me significant levels of encouragement and really just some advice and just well wishes. And we appreciate that so much. Mm-hmm. For those of you that are subscribers and here as part of our family, we really value you. You help keep us going because making videos is hard work. It takes a lot of time. Yesterday we spent 11 hours out just filming. That's all we were doing, and doing some photography. It's time consuming. We fight a lot. We argue. I'm always ready to make videos. We're talking today, she's not like me in that regard. She needs a lot of notice, and that sometimes doesn't work out because when you're doing this kind of stuff, anything related to weather, it's very dependent. You got to be ready to move. You got to ABR. Always be ready. Always.
Yeah.
And so that's a challenge that we face. Whereas I can pick up everything and head out in 15 seconds because the weather permits, because of all of the years of being in photography. Joelle still struggles with that.
I just need a little bit of notice. But we do, fighting comes with the territory, but not like fighting. We just have our little moments. But it is a lot of fun, and we actually do well when we work together.
Yeah.
And we know what to expect from each other. Yeah. We know where each other is weak and strong. So
yeah,
it is also a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Are you trying to downplay that, huh?
Yeah.
I know.
Trying to stay out of the wind. It's pretty windy up here.
It is.
I want to share with you a thought that I've had as it relates to when you're frustrated with the way your life is going. Life is hard. To that we can agree. And yesterday, we were having lunch inside Death Valley at the Stovepipe Wells area, and we met Debbie. Debbie was our waitress. Debbie lives here full time, and she even waits tables during the summer. If you don't know, Death Valley gets up to 120, sometimes 130 in the summer. It's like being inside of an oven.
Yeah.
And yet, fields of wildflowers all over. Can you rattle off a few of the flowers that we found inside Death Valley over the last couple of days?
Well, yeah, of course, right here we have the desert sunflowers, which are pretty common.
Yeah. What
and
else?
are pretty popular. Also, the most beautiful flower in the desert, which is the desert 5 spot.
We found those.
Found those finally,
What else?
and they're just beautiful. We also have come across some of they're called yellow cups, golden sun cups, which were beautiful.
What else?
And yesterday we stumbled across desert chai, which was cool, as well as we think what's called lacy facilia. It's kind of a scorpion weed flower that we also saw in the Southern California area, just to name a few.
Yeah, and there's more.
Yeah.
We found some that are exclusive to Death Valley. It's just amazing. You would never know if you're here in the summer that these flowers would be in the general area. You'd never know it.
Right.
You would never know it. And that's like our life. And I want to share with you some encouragement right now as it relates to that. Death Valley has the most extreme elevations, I believe, in all of the continental 48 states, the lower 48 states. At Badwater Basin, you're at about 360 feet negative below sea level, and Telescope Peak on the other side of Badwater Basin rises up to 11,600 feet. You couldn't have more extremes. And I think that's a lot like what our lives are like as we struggle with the things that we're going through. You got the bottom, when life is, and it's as hot as hell down in Badwater Basin. When it gets to be 130, that's where it gets to be 130. You can climb up to Telescope Peak when it's 130, and it might only be 80 degrees up at Telescope Peak. When you're down and you're in the oven of life, you have to remember what it's like in Death Valley. And what I mean when I say that is, first of all, oftentimes when you're down, you have to force yourself to climb. You got to move up in order to turn down the heat, so to speak. But like with the wildflower fields around Death Valley, they don't all bloom at the same time. They bloom in varying stages. There will be wildflowers down at the Death Valley area that will be of a certain variety and a certain species, at the Badwater Basin area, I should say. And as you move up in elevation, like where we're camping outside of Death Valley, we're at 3,000 feet. At varying elevations, you will have different species of wildflowers, and they don't all bloom at the same time. The bloom on the desert floor down at Badwater Basin will start as early as late February. The bloom up at Telescope Peak will be as late as May to June. As you're going through life and you're dealing with the pain and the anguish that comes and the fighting back and forth that comes, you have to remember that flowers will come. As you weather the heat of the test that you're facing in life, as I think about this for me, I have to remember that flowers will come. And can I say, you guys, a lot of you are those flowers. I posted a video not long ago about some of the frustrations with regard to where I'm going and what we're doing and was this a mistake and everything else. And many of you reached out in the comments and said, you know, what you're doing, we appreciate so much. I love your photography. I love the RV advice. And you've really helped encourage me today. You know, out of the thousands of you that are subscribers right now, 1 or 2 of you leaves a comment that it's something that we've shown you, said or done, has encouraged you. That is like fuel. That's like rocket fuel in the gas tank for me that helps me to keep going. It just keeps me focused and keeps me going. We get negative comments.
Yeah.
There are some people that follow us, that troll us, that are enemies from our past, or people that just don't like us, and they leave really nasty comments. And unlike that's part of being on YouTube.
It is.
You know, when you put yourself out in public, you're going to get people that don't like you. Joel Osteen said one time that 25% of the people on the planet are going to love you, 25% of the people on the planet are going to like you, 25% of the people on the planet don't like you but could be persuaded to like you if given enough opportunity, and 25% of the people on the planet are going to hate your guts no matter what you do, no matter how you do it. And when you're on social media and you start to build a following, like on YouTube, where we're close to 2,500 subscribers now, you're going to get, with the population growing as far as your customer base goes, so are your haters going to grow. And that is hard for somebody like me who seeks the approval of customers. When you're an entrepreneur and you're in business, you want your customers to like you. And it's hard to sever that and separate the distinction between some customers are just not going to like you and aren't meant to be your customer. And that's the way it goes with YouTube and having subscribers. Some subscribers aren't going to like the content. They aren't going to like me. Everybody's going to like her, but a lot of people aren't going to like me. And you know, that's the thing. You accept that. Those of you that have encouraged me have given me desert flowers. You have helped me to keep going and to remember why I'm doing it, and it's for you. It's to share these things with you. A lot of you can't see it, a lot of you can't be here, and we want to just show it to you. And what a blessing and privilege we have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
What did Debbie say that really struck us yesterday that we want to share with the people today before we close out?
What she had mentioned was you've got to love yourself enough to be alone with yourself. And I thought that was so accurate, so true.
And she said that specifically as it relates to her experience working in Death Valley.
Yeah.
When you're out here in the summer, it's hot, and there's no color, there's nothing, there's no water, there's nothing. It is dry, it is arid, and it is punishingly hot.
Yes.
But also, at night, the sky is darker here than just about anywhere else in the United States of America. It is the darkest, largest area for a darkest sky park in the entire nation. So it's a great spot to do Milky Way photography. When you're out here underneath the night sky and you're in Death Valley, it is silent. There is no noise. There is no traffic. There are no airplanes. There's nothing. And you can't help but get introspective, look inside yourself. And for me personally, you know, it's when I feel closest to God. When I feel closest to the Lord is when I'm out doing photography at 3 in the morning underneath these starry skies. This is a close second. Being in a field like this is just surreal for me.
Dream.
It is unbelievable to me. But with life, we have to remember that the things that suck don't last forever. There is always a spring coming.
Right, and I want to
Always.
And I want to mention there, spring is all about renewal, growth, blooming, and as Rob mentioned earlier, these flowers here, they don't all bloom at the same time, just like you and I. You know, where your growth, you may be growing, I may not, but we're eventually all going to get to that place in our lives where we are growing and blooming to our full potential.
And you know, if you were to come to this area right now where we're at in the middle of summer, none of this would be here. It would be just barren black lava rock. You couldn't even believe that this stuff would even be here next year. You're here in July or August, and you would never believe that it would turn into this. So, you know, if you have a child that's struggling, show them this video. If you're struggling, just take note. This around us, it comes every year. You have it in you. Your child has it in them. They can bring it out with enough climbing, with enough fortitude, with enough focus, with enough resilience, with enough perseverance through the heat and the climb. There's a reward.
Yeah.
And it looks like this to me. What do you think?
I agree.
Here, I picked this for you.
Desert sunflower. I do. I take this man as my husband.
Oh, jeez.
Do you take this woman as your beloved wife?
I did, apparently.
Wait, can I toss the...
Toss the bouquet. Do it.
Well, thanks
Who's
for
gonna catch
watching.
it?
Field will catch it, but I'm
Okay.
going to hold on to it
Ready?
because I love a good sunflower.
Hey, if you made it this far and you've gone all the way through, I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I hope that you've enjoyed what you've seen, and I hope most importantly that you have been encouraged. That's her and I's a desire for everyone that watches, is that you're encouraged and you're inspired, and perhaps even if you're not encouraged, you know somebody that needs the encouragement, you can share it with them. This video up here, up above her head, is the video that YouTube thinks that you would want to watch next. This video set up here, this playlist, is a playlist of things to see and do around the country based on our experience. And if you click the circle, you're subscribed, and we would love it if you were on board with us. Thanks for being here. We will see you in the next one.